I'm gonna have to admit, it does look way cooler when you have all this stuff in your background. I think I'm just gonna do that from now on. Just talk to you guys with, I just gotta get it right. There. Yep, a little up here so you can see my dope computer. Where I game, which I suck at, which I don't really game because I'm not a freaking gamer anymore. I'm an adult. Let's see, it's a closet over there full of junk. And my racing rig, which I use with VR right there. Right there. So, I was making a video. So, I had to fly out to Florida. I think I have some footage, which I'll put on here, which is, you know, I always, like, at least for me, I always start out big with my videos. I'm like, I'm gonna start big, you know, motivated, I guess. And then it just slowly goes, I'm gonna get a little more motivated, you know, just like, whatever. So I went to Florida. It was terrible. I hate the humidity. I'm just a California girl. Oh my gosh. Just so country out here. And so I went for my final for my Central Diagnostic Tech class for my Central Diagnostic Tech class for Mercedes-Benz. And you know, I was going along making some video, and then I failed and I didn't care anymore. So this was my second attempt at the test. So the first attempt you do in Long Beach, you have two bugged cars and a written. So I passed the written, one bugged car, and failed one bugged car. So you have to go out to Florida for 3 days. I don't know why you can't just go back to Long Beach. Well, I'm kind of upset about this one. I think about it more and more and I get pretty angry. Fly out to Florida for 3 days, you practice for 2 days, and you take the test. And you know, some people pass, some people don't. Unfortunately, I was not one of the people that passed for my knowledge of the system. So basically, I can't really tell you, I might get in trouble if I say what exactly happened. So basically, I guess my knowledge of the system, I didn't pass that. So I diagnosed the car. Oh, you get an hour, and you have them watching you. They're kind of just floating around watching you diagnose the car. And you gotta make sure, like, you don't really do this stuff in the real world anymore. I mean, you try, but it's just so hard. Because you gotta make sure, you know, obviously you put a battery charger on. That's easy to remember, but you gotta put fender covers, seat covers, steering wheel covers, floor mats. You gotta look up, you gotta do all this on your own. You gotta look up the information and diagnose it, wiring diagrams, and go through all that stuff. And so basically I had an issue with the car, that it had an issue. I don't really want to say, I don't want to, like, who knows how this is gonna, I don't know, I just don't want to get in trouble because it's super serious stuff. So basically, let's say it was shorted somewhere on a component, and so I figured it out. Like, I didn't get down to diagnosing the, like, fixing the problem, but I got to my first step in the diagnosis. So what they want you to get to what they call the players and game, the game and players. So the game is what you believe is actually wrong with the car, and then the players are everything related to that problem. So wiring, the components, blah 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 blah. So I had all that, and I had my test step. What I thought it was the problem was the short, and so I ran out of time to do the repair. So you get, I think I said, yeah, you get 1 hour. Then you get nervous, and it's not the same. Like, for some people, I'm sure it is. And for me, I do a lot of everything at work still. I don't just primarily diagnose, and nor do a lot of other people that work for Mercedes-Benz and what have you. So there were 5 people in my class. All 5 of us failed. I failed by like 1 point. Another guy failed by half a point. And it's really frustrating because what I failed on was my knowledge of the system, and which was the radio, I guess you would say. I mean, the radio, like, it changes every year, and I'm dedicated to my job. I like my job. You know, it keeps me involved because it just changes constantly. But when it comes down to it, if I really have to know why, I mean, I knew why in my head, but I guess it wasn't to the teacher's standards, why I believed that the issue was, the issue that it was having was caused by blah blah blah. He wanted me to explain exactly why, and I mean, I had an idea and I knew why, I just couldn't explain it to the T. Like, you know, X, this is X, and this is Y, and this is this, and this is exactly what's happening. But I knew the X and Y, and I knew how it still worked and the component, but it was with the audio, and like, those change every year. Like, you know, I mean, electricity and all that stuff stays the same, but like, I don't have time to just, I got a family, and if I'm gonna diagnose the problem, obviously I'm going to I'll figure it out. Maybe not in an hour, but I'll do my best. And if I have to learn, then I'll look up the documents and read about the information on the component to understand it better and to diagnose it. So I failed by a point. It sucks. So I was super bitter and butthurt about it, so I didn't really film anything on the way home, which is very frustrating. You know, all of us were, I mean, there's 5 of us, we're all like kind of bummed out that we failed. I thought I passed. I was going into it pretty confident, and I was like, I got this. And I took the test, and it came down to it, and I felt that I answered all the questions at the end of the test adequately enough and I had a good path to repair the car in under an hour. And I thought I was gonna pass. So then they call you in there, and they're like, this is why you failed. And then, I don't know, I was pretty upset. I mean, I feel like I guess you don't have to have this like award or something. The screen's all dirty, I guess. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's like internationally known for Mercedes-Benz. If you're a CDT, you know your shit. So, you know, I'm upset. Obviously, I'm still gonna go back to work, and I'm just gonna keep working. But you know, I kind of feel like I let my foreman down and my boss down by not passing. And there's no steps after this that the teachers, they said there's no path right now. And it's very frustrating. You can't argue your point. It's already printed up. Here's you failed. You can't be like, come on, like, can you just give me like 1 point, really? Like, you know. So that's that. I'll go ahead and then do some video here so you can, I don't even know what I recorded anymore. I was kind of, I didn't want to go outside, but it was my first time experiencing a East Coast thunderstorm, which was pretty cool. I was starstruck about it. I was like, oh my god, this is so neato, lightning and thunder, and I'm standing outside like an idiot. And everybody's probably like, what is this idiot doing outside? I'm up there, my phone, like, and so this is super weird for me, that it is thunder and lightning, and it's warm. It's never warm and it raining in California. It's always cold and raining. I'm sure it's probably normal for most people around here, but for me it's freaking weird, man. Holy moly. God damn. And yeah, so that was kind of neat. But now I guess there's a hurricane going through Florida. There's about to be, so I'm glad I got out of there. And almost everything that I need to do on the exo set here. So like I have a list here. It's like a highlighted stuff that I ordered. It's basically a whole page of stuff, and I'm sure there's more things that I need to do. But this is pretty much everything, so I can start marking stuff off the list. And I know that when I work on the exo set, I kind of jump around a lot. I go from thing to thing. And it's really hard to stay focused. So what I'm going to try with this now, I ordered a whiteboard so I can stick it out in the shop or in my garage and keep track, because I jump around a lot now, so I need to stay focused. Like, wire the battery, I need to make that one thing. I need to order the cables for the battery, and then building the fuse panel and stuff like that, and make that one video. I just kind of want to get content out as much as I can, so I guess I do like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, because it's really hard to commit that much time to just fabricating something. So I think the next thing I'm going to do, I ordered the pigtails for the ECU, which I think, yeah, so I got the chassis harness. I could have pieced it together through VW, but I didn't want to go in and deal with like, hey, I need this connector, and oh, you got a fan on that, and I'm like, well, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. So I just found them online on eBay. So I ordered the pigtails for the ECU. So I find a spot for the ECU, and then I start wiring my fuse panel up. I was trying to go with, I'm just getting off subject here. Anyways, all right. So I'll go ahead and catch you guys when I actually do something out there when it cools down, because I just don't. I'm not about that life, going out there sweating my ass off right now. And I gotta watch the kids, so yeah. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is into sim racing. I really haven't been doing it that much, honestly. I've been paying my iRacing subscription and not doing it. It's pretty stupid. I have a R32 seat, and I got the V3 pedals from Fanatec, whatever, that, and I used the 2.5 bass with BMW steering wheel, which I really want a Club Sport that I don't, or a GT style steering wheel, but I just don't, I don't play enough to commit to that. I got my new Rift S, and I was playing with that. I just, you know, time. Cool. Alright, I'll catch you guys on the next one, I guess. Peace.